Well, the truth is a whole lot of working moms are coming home to work the second shift. That is, they cook, they clean, they help the kids with the homework.
I don't think that's fair.
Well, that's why we have this book. Okay, The Lazy Husband. Dr. Joshua Coleman's book says that you can actually make some small changes and get your husband to do a little more to help out. Isn't that right, Dr. Joshua?
That's exactly right.
Hey, you know what? Well, first, let's... it's kind of a mean title, isn't it? The Lazy Husband.
Yeah,
I want to defend
but
some
it's a
men
man
right
who's
now.
saying it, so it's okay.
Exactly. It's a man who's saying it. And, this is the way women talk. When I talk to women in my practice or my women friends, this is how they're talking about their husbands. They're saying, my lazy husband won't help with the kids, my lazy husband won't help with the housework, etc. So I'm just calling it like I see it.
All right. Well, let's get to Jin, who tells his wife, you know what? I work so much already, and I don't have time to take out the trash and do the dishes. Let's listen to Jin.
It's funny because we have probably the same kind of arguments that my parents have, and that's, I probably don't do enough around the house, which is probably true. I probably don't.
See, time in memoriam. Yeah, you have the same arguments, Dr. Coleman.
Well, see, he said something very important there, and that was that he admitted that it was a problem. He admitted that he didn't do his fair share. And that's what a lot of women don't realize, is that their husbands actually know that they're not doing enough. And the women can use that to get their husbands to do more. Many men do feel guilty about the fact that they're not doing as much as their wives are doing. So the wives can appeal their sense of fair play when they have these discussions with them. They can say, look, I'm pulling much more of my weight here than is fair to me. I'm feeling burnout, I'm feeling resentful. In some cases, I'm thinking about divorce. You really need to come to the table here and help out more.
Now, what's the most effective tool, though? You don't attack your husband, do you? Typically, that's not how you're going to get him to do something.
No, that's a very, very good point, and I'm glad you raised it. You really want to start out in a very affectionate way. In general, men do much more housework and parenting if they feel cared about by their wives, if they feel liked, admired, appreciated, respect, etc. In general, friendship is really the engine that drives forth any good marriage. So you want to approach them with affection.
Now, very quickly, in your book, you talk about, three very general types. Of course, you kind of type them here, the lazy husband. You got the boy husband. What exactly is that? The needy one. I can't do it.
Yeah, the boy husband is the husband who kind of was raised by a mom, probably, who did everything for him, took out, made his bed, cooked his meals, didn't have to do anything, and he came into marriage believing that his wife's going to do everything for him.
So that's something that women should keep in mind, too, when they're raising their boys.
Yes, women should keep it in mind, and boys should keep it in mind as well. I mean, women and men, rather. We as men have to be good role models for our sons as well. Yes, you don't want to raise a little prince, because your daughter-in-law someday is going to come to resent you if you do.
And perfectionist husband and the status-seeking husband.
Yeah. Well, the perfectionist husband is a guy who wants the house to look perfect, wants the kids to look perfect, wants his wife to be perfect, but isn't willing to do his fair share to make it happen. The status-seeking husband is very, very common because in general, men tend to get much more of their self-esteem from their work and their careers and their income and that kind of thing than they do from their family lives. So many men will feel like, gee, I'm home, but I have to be checking my email, I've got to be making business calls, because that's really where they're getting a lot of their self-esteem.
And we have to wrap things up pretty quickly, but I do want to throw in one point here, because aren't there also cases where the husband does help out, but for some reason the wife doesn't
It's just not good enough.
It's enough.
And again, women need to know, they need to speak out for
Yes.
themselves, but they also need to praise and
Yes.
appreciate.
Yes, I'm really glad that you raised that point. That's hugely important. There's a lot of guys that are doing a lot, and really the best way to motivate anybody in a family is to appreciate what they are doing. There's a lot of men that don't actually know what the wife wants. A lot of women aren't really good at saying very specifically what they want, and a lot of guys are doing a lot that's really good both for their wives and for the kids. So that's a hugely important point.
Dr. Joshua Coleman, The Lazy Husband, out in bookstores already. We're just touching the iceberg. It's just the tip of the iceberg.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Joshua.
All right.